there, this is Chad Garber, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to play Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. There's about 8 parts that I'm going to show you. Here they are. And then there's... And then there's... And then there's... Okay, I'm not going to show you the solo part, but that's just me messing around, okay? And then there's... Alright, and then there's... Last time it goes... Then it goes back to the beginning. So if you like this video and others like it, please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That'd be super. Alright, so... I'm going to go ahead and say I'm not playing this the way Randy Rhoads played. Now, by the way, Randy Rhoads is one of my favorite guitar players of all time. I got so much of my influence by Randy Rhoads. I love his style. I love how he plays. But all that being said, I'm not playing Crazy Train exactly like he does it. I'm doing an easier version. Same notes for the most part, but it's a little bit easier version. On the first part, I put my pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the E, and I pick that down. Then I use my ring finger, hit the 4th fret of the A string, then I go back down to the 2nd fret of the E, picking down. This part's the same way he does it, but I'll show you the part that's not the same. And then I go, I hit that once, the 2nd fret of the E again, then I go to the 5th fret of the A and pick that up, so it's down, down, up, down, up. Then back down to the 4th fret of the A again. I'm using my ring finger for the 4th fret of the A and then my pinky for the 5th fret of the A. And then back to the, you end up at the same second note of the 2nd fret of the low E. So 2nd fret of the low E, hit that twice, down. 4th fret of the A, ring finger, pick it up. Pick down the 2nd fret of the E again. Pick the 5th fret of the A string with your pinky. Go back down to the 2nd fret of the E. With your ring finger, pick up on the 4th fret of the A again. And then end up again, finally on the 2nd fret of the E again. Okay? Okay, so here's what I do is something a little bit different. I mean, it's the same exact notes. I just do a little bit of it, a little different. To me, it's a little bit easier. Now, what I do is I take my pointer finger here, hit it on the 2nd fret of the A string, and I pick down, but also then I do a hammer. Then I do a pull off to the open A. Okay. Then I use my ring finger to pick down on the 4th fret of the low E. Okay, so 2nd fret of the A, pick down, pull off, to open A, and then end up with your ring finger on the 4th fret of the low E, picking down on that too. Okay. And then I pick the open A again. And then I do another hammer on pull off on the 2nd fret of the A to the open again. And you go back to the 4th fret of the E again with your pinky, my ring finger. And then you just pull off on the 3rd fret of the 4th fret of the E. I mean, did I say the 4th fret of the E? So your ring finger's on the 4th fret. So then I just pull off on the 4th fret of the E and let the open E ring. And so that's... Isn't that easy? And actually I do pull off, but actually on the 4th fret. Yeah, actually I do a pull off on the 4th fret of the E the last time I do it, but I also pick down the open E. They do it like this. You can do it that way too. All that I'm not even gonna tell you how to do it though. Oh, yeah, I guess not really. What they're doing is you're doing the 2nd fret of the A with your pointer finger. Use your pinky for hit the 5th fret of the low E. Maybe this is easier actually, who knows. Anyway, so 5th fret of the E string with your pinky, and then you use your you hit the 4th fret of the E with your ring finger. Alternate picking, so I pick up on the 2nd fret of the A, down on the 5th fret of the E, so down, up on the 2nd fret of the A, down on the 5th fret of the E, using your pinky, up on the 4th fret of the E, using your ring finger. Then you go back to the 5th fret of the E, picking down. Then you repeat that. Then you repeat that. Then you go. You repeat it. You go back down to the the 5th fret of the E, 4th fret of the E. Back down, and then you use your ring finger to hit the 4th. I'm sorry, the last one, the 5th fret. So you use your pinky to hit the 5th fret of the E. Then you go down to the 4th fret of the E, and this time instead of going back up, you go to the low E. And that might be easier, who knows? I'm just used to doing this other way. The way I'm doing this. Kind of like how it sounds my way better. But anyway, so that's the first part. Next part is all you're going to do is you're going to D. A partial D, you're going to put your pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the G string and your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the G string, and then hit those three, hit the G, B, and E strings where the E is open. And then you hit the low E, E. Put your pointer finger on the 1st fret of the D string, your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and you strum all the notes. You can even do a full D if you want to, by the way. Okay, and then the next part. Now this part is actually a really cool discovery of me. I thought when I watched Randy play it, there's a live video, and he's just the man, by the way. But when I watched him play it, I thought he did something different than all the tabs are saying, and so I figured out what he could possibly be doing based on what I was seeing. Turns out I was wrong, but I found out a really cool way to do that. This is a lot easier way. Here's the part. Okay, now there's a harder chord that they can do, but I'm not going to show you that. I'm just going to show you the one that sounds. It's got just about every note in it, except for a higher note. But even the other tabs, sometimes they don't even show you the high note. So anyway, this is a lot easier to do. All you're doing is you're doing the open A, muffling it. You're going down and down on the low E, open, muffling it. Down and down. Actually, down, up, down. Yeah, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Let's see, down, down, up, down. So down, down, up, down. So down, down, up, down. Down, 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 up, down. Then you're going to do this chord. Put your pointer finger on the 5th fret of the B string, your middle finger on the 6th fret of the G string, and your ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string, and hit that chord. 1. Okay. All right, the next one is cool. All you're going to do, this is such an easier way to do this chord. you're going to put your pinky over the, really you can just do that, you can only have to do these two, but I might as well just put them over all three. Put your pinky over the 3 frets of the B, of the G, B, and E string. Actually, but just focus on the G and the B. Don't worry about the E, but it's probably just easier to go ahead and do that one too, okay? And then you're going to take your pointer finger, put that on the 6th fret of the D string, and then just basically hit those, hit the open A still, and hit the D, G, and B strings. That's the chord. Again, that's your pointer finger on the 6th fret of the D, your pinky over the 9th, did I say this? The big pinky over the 9th fret of the B and the G, the G and the B, and if you're covering over the E, it doesn't matter, just don't strum it, okay? Isn't that an awesome chord? The other way to do it is like this, which is much more difficult. Here's a lot of people play it like this. It's so close. And here's how actually Randy plays it like this. So it's this and there. Okay, but we're doing it like this. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one. So it's down, up, and down, 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 down. Up, down, up. And you just listen to the song so you hear the timing of it. Oops. Then you're gonna take your chord. You're gonna put your pointer finger on the 4th fret of the D string, and your pinky over the 7th fret of the B, of the G and the B strings, and the E if you want to, but just don't strum it. Just do an open A, which you put your pointer finger over the 2nd fret of the D string and play the open A and the D string together. It's very slow. Right now the timing's not sounding right to me, but it might just be because I'm listening to it a bunch of times, and I'm slowing it down. So just again, listen to the timing to make sure you get it right. To me, those chords are brilliant. I was like, man, that's how Randy's playing it. That's smart, but he wasn't. I looked at it a little bit closer. I was like, oh, he's doing the other way. But again, to me, it's so much easier than the other chords. I'm not going to show you those parts. Okay, so then he goes into, you put your pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the E string and your ring finger on the 4th fret of the A string and your pinky on the 4th fret of the D string, and go. And just strum that down. And then strum it once, pull your pointer finger off the E and just hit that same chord with the low E instead of the 2nd fret of the E string. Hit it twice. That's all down. Then go to put your pointer finger on the 5th fret of the A string and your ring finger on the 7th fret of the G, the D and the G strings. I take my pinky and I hit the 5th fret of the A string. That's what you're going for. So the 5th fret of the A string, then I go to you use my ring finger to hit the 4th fret of the A string, and then my pointer finger to the 2nd fret of the A string. What I do is I pick down on the 5th fret of the A string, up on the 4th fret of the A string, and down on the 2nd fret of the A string. Then he goes A, open A, which is just, picking the A string open and the 2nd fret of the D string. That's just. And then I use my ring finger to hit the 4th fret of the low E, picking down. And then pick down on with my pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the E string. Do an open E there with a second. Put your 2nd fret or your finger on the 2nd fret of the A string and play the open E and A together. And then play the 2nd fret of the E string and with your pointer finger and the 4th fret of the A string with your ring finger, picking all up. Pick it all down. I'm sorry. Yeah, all that's picking down. And the chord they go to is back to that 2nd fret of the E string and your ring finger on the 4th fret of the A string and your pinky on the 4th fret of the D string. But he does a solo there, so he goes. Or whatever he's doing. It's my favorite lick of all time right there in the live version. It's not exactly how I do it, but how he's doing it, but it's the same kind of concept. Alright, so anyway, so that's that part. And then he goes into this part. So he does the same chord. You know, you got your pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the E string and your ring finger on the 4th fret of the A, your pinky on the 4th fret of the D, and you're doing that. Take your pointer finger off the E and just play the same chord. This time he goes. All that is taking your pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the E, your ring finger on the 4th fret of the E, all picking down, by the way. So 2nd fret of the E, 4th fret of the E with your ring finger, 5th fret of the E with your pinky. Back down the same way. 4th fret of the E with your pinky or your ring finger, and your 2nd fret of the E with your pointer finger. Then when you get back to the E, you hit the 2nd fret of the A string along with the open E. Then you go back up to the 2nd fret of the E with your pointer finger and your 4th fret of the E with your ring finger. And you repeat. You do that same chord again. This time you go. You do the same 2nd fret of the E and the 4th fret of the E, and this time you go back to the D. So that didn't sound very good because I didn't do it well, but that's kind of the concept. And then the only other part, there's 2 other parts. Now one of them is during the breakdown. He's just going that same chord we just did, A. So it's basically the F sharp thing, that one, A, E, back to that same chord, F sharp with your pointer finger on the 2nd fret. This is the same chord we just did, and then you go to the C and the D bar chords. C sharp. And all that is as a D. I'm sorry, that's not a C. It was a D and an E. Put your pointer finger on the 5th fret of the A string, your ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string, and your pinky on the 7th fret of the G string. Then you put your pointer finger on the slide with the 2 frets later, 2 frets up. You put your pointer finger on the 7th fret of the A string and your ring finger on the 9th fret of the D string and your pinky on the 9th fret of the G string. If I said all that stuff wrong, sorry. Just hopefully you can understand. Okay, then the solo. Okay, so during the solo, here's the guitars, the other guitars going. All that is you're doing put your pointer finger, I'm just going to tell you the 2 fingers, okay? Put your pointer finger on the 9th fret of the A string and your ring finger on the 11th fret of the D string. Go down 2 frets. Then go down 2 more frets. Then go down 1 step, 1 fret, and 2 more. Alright, you got that? So it's skip 1 fret, go to the other fret. So go down 2 frets, but skip 1 fret to go to the other fret. Go down 2 frets, go down 2 more frets, get it all down. Skip 1 fret, and then skip skip 2 frets, or go down 1 fret and then go down 2 frets. So the pattern is basically. All right, and then you're gonna use your pinky finger to go to the 5th fret of the E string, picking down, pick down, and then use your ring finger to hit the 4th fret of the E string. And then go back to that F sharp, which is your pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the E string, your ring finger on the 4th fret of the A, and your pinky on the 4th fret of the D. So, okay, so it's. Sounds a little bit like Whitesnake. The last time he does that, the last time instead of going to the F sharp, you go to the open E. In the 2nd fret, your pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. So the first times is this part, and then the last time he does it with the E. So the normal times is. The very last time he goes. Then he goes back to the. If you want to do solos, by the way, for this, it's really fun. It's basically you can do an F sharp pentatonic scale minor. It's really fun. So anyway, that is the lesson. If you like these videos, like I said, or if you like this video, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to see more like this, hit the notification bell, and they'll be popping up in your notification area, wherever that is. All right, so thank you so much. Thanks for watching, and have a great day jamming with Ozzy Osbourne. Randy Rhoads, man, he rocks! He rocked.